Hello and welcome back to the Road to Good Cooking, and today I'm going to be making some rye bread. And you know you can't make rye bread without making a delicious Reuben sandwich, and it's been forever since I had a homemade Reuben sandwich. And after I finished this sandwich, I made me another batch of butter, and if you want to see how I put all this together, stick around. Now let's get started. Okay, today I'm going to be making some rye bread because I do have some rye berries which I've been dying to try, and I'm going to be using the hard white wheat. And this is a recipe I got off of the King Author website, and here's my very messy recipe, which I'll put it on the screen, so don't worry. don't worry, I'll put it on the screen so you can read it. But anyway, I'm super excited about this. I've made my corned beef. I started cooking it yesterday morning and finished it up about noontime. So my corned beef is all ready to go. And I just have to put my bread together. So let's get started. The recipe calls for commercial flour, which I'm not using commercial flour. I'm using my wheat berries. So I'm going to have to change it up just a tad bit, you know, like add more water and what have you. But it calls for 300 grams of white all-purpose flour, and I'll be using 300 grams of hard white wheat flour. Okay, so 300 grams is what we need. Got my, okay, so I have my, okay, that's set to grams already. So I need, okay, I always look at my grain before I put it in there, just in case there's any hard. They said, according to my instructions, it said make sure that there's no hard rock or anything that could damage the blade. So I always pour it out and look at it. Make sure none of these things occur. Okay, that looks good. That's 211. And like I was telling you guys back in January when I started ordering my grain, this is by far the cleanest grain that I've seen so far. And that I truly appreciate. There's 300 grams exactly. Now, I'm going to also add 46 grams of hard wheat flour because the recipe calls for 46 grams of dried potato flakes, which I don't have, so I'm just going to change that to my hard wheat flour. So I need 46. Okay, and there's my 346, well, not quite. 346 grams. Right there. For my rye, I need 138 grams. I know I am working super slow, but I'm trying to be really careful because I'm trying a new recipe, something that I haven't done before. So bear with me, guys. Hey, I'm an old person. I can work slow if I want to. This looks good. Uh-oh, made a mess. 138 grams. Not quite. 138. There we go. Okay, my bowl is nice and clean. Lid's nice and clean. Put this on. And the lid is kind of hard to get on there, so it said you can put flour around this rubber part to make it go on there easier. Because last time I cleaned it, I brushed that all off. Back to the yes. We take her bonnet off. I always start my meal and let it run for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then I check the bowl, make sure there's nothing weird in there. I check all my knobs to make sure that I have everything set right, and then after it runs down, I add my grain. Now we're ready to mill some flour. I just love that sound. Okay, we're done with that. Let's see what it look like here. That looks really good. I love the way fresh milled flour smells. So fresh. Very nice. Yep. Okay. That part's done. I keep all of my bread bonnets in a jar and I keep it in the refrigerator. And it's clearly marked so I know what it is and what it's for. Okay, I'm going to brush this off over the sink because I noticed that the last time I used it, I used my brushes, I end up with a few bristles in my flour. So I thought, no, that's not good. So I'm going to brush this out real good. Now I put it back on. Actually, I'm going to wash this out before I put it back on there. And then I'll just brush this off. And I absolutely love this brush. Gets the job done. Gets it nice and clean. And I'm trying to get in the habit of doing this every time I use it, instead of just letting it sit on there for days on end. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that. I like my equipment to be clean when next time I use it. I don't want to have to clean it before I use it. Make sense? Okay. Now, these brushes are a game changer. Okay, that air conditioner was really getting on my nerves, so I'm going to mute this part of the video. This is a little chat for my seniors, and I hope you all are well. I was saying, you probably couldn't hear me because of the air conditioner. These brushes have made a huge difference in how I, do the maintenance on my lid here. And I'll put the link, the ordering link in my from my Amazon store in the description box below, in case you're interested in getting a couple of these brushes. And I tell you what, it makes all the difference in the world. So anyway, how are you guys doing? I know there's been a lot going on, and believe you me, I know, but I can't I can't stress out about stuff that I have no control over, and neither can you. Only thing we can do is, stay in faith and stay in prayer and know who's still in control, and just keep on, preparing and just getting ready for what's getting ready to happen, what's already happening. So, you don't need me telling you that because you see the same things I see. But, we have to keep ourselves busy, seniors, and we can't sit around feeling sorry for ourselves just because. We have to keep moving. We got to keep pushing forward and just know that it's going to be rough, but, we're going to get through this. And I hope you all have started a little bit of a garden or something. Do anything to keep your spirits up and stay away from the TV and listening to all the doomsday stuff going on. And good grief. I mean, that stuff will drive you crazy if you let it. And look at this lid. It is so nice and clean. Those brushes make a huge difference. They really, really do. Okay, so let me get back to what I was doing. I need to wash out the cup here, and I always wash this out because sometimes there's a lot of flour left in there around the edges and stuff that I can't get with my brushes. So I just wash it out and dry it off, and wait for it to get completely dry before I put it back on the lid, and then I'm good to go after that. So, you guys don't want to know what happened to me. The other day when I was milling some cornmeal, I thought, oh, I got some popcorn left over. So I did what I wasn't supposed to do. I made myself a pan of popcorn, and for some reason I bit down on something and on the tooth that I had crowned, and it started aggravating me, and ugh, I know better than to eat popcorn. I won't eat popcorn anymore. These are ready for the next time. Put it in their little jar. Okay, they're ready for the next time. Okay, so I need 198 grams of water. Uh-oh. Got a little bit too much, but that's okay. That's close enough. Yep. That's close enough. I'm going to leave that separate because in the event that I don't use all the water, I don't want to have to worry about putting too much water in my mix. So I'm going to put that aside. I need 50 grams of vegetable oil. I'm going to use olive oil because that's what I have. So that is 50 grams. Okay, that's close enough. It's 51 grams. Okay, tar that out, and I need 170 grams of dill pickle juice, which I found very interesting. So I'm not sure if I can get 170 grams in that little bowl. So let me side up. Be careful. And I have a little bit of pickle juice here. I'm going to use 170 grams. Let's see, that wouldn't have fit in that little bowl. There's 170 grams. Okay, so for my dry ingredients, I'm going to need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. It says table salt, but I don't have any. I'm going to use sea salt. 9 grams of sea salt. There's 9 grams. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. I'm going to use cane sugar because that's all I have. Doesn't give me grams on that one, so I'm just going to drop it in there. Okay, 1¼ teaspoons of caraway seed. That's what's going to give it that wonderful rye bread flavor. Now, rather than putting the whole seeds in there, I'm going to grind mine up just a little bit because I just had a whole lot of dental work done and I don't want to take any chances in something getting stuck underneath something that's not supposed to be there. So, I need 1¼ teaspoons of caraway seeds. I'm just going to give it just a little bit of a chop. No big deal. Oh, guess I better plug it up, huh? And there it is. Oh, can you see? Oh, that smells so good. It smells like rye bread already. Oh, love that smell. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of mustard seed or Dijon mustard. I don't have mustard seed, but I do have Dijon mustard, so I'll put that in there later. Okay, so that should do it. Let's see here. Let me look at my recipe. I got 1/4 cup of oil, 170 grams of dill pickle juice, 1½ or 9 grams of salt, 1 tablespoon of, I use cane sugar, 1½ teaspoon of caraway seeds, and then 1 tablespoon of Dijon. I think I'm going to leave the Dijon mustard out because it's going to be, oh, I forgot the dill seeds. Let me see. Dill pickle seed, because it calls for dill weed seed somewhere. I saw that. Where did I see it? Dill pickle juice, caraway seed, mustard seed, Dijon. Oh, where did I see the dill seed? Okay, I had to go back and look at the recipe because it does call for 1¼ teaspoon of dill seeds. Yeah, okay, so let me put 1¼ teaspoon. Always look at the recipe, especially if it's a new one that you're making. Okay, so 1¼ teaspoons. I have dill seeds right here. There's 1¼ teaspoon. There we go. And I gotta find my 1 teaspoon because I'm not advertising for these guys. My teaspoon is around here somewhere. I'll find it when I'm not looking for it. Okay, so I'm going to put everything in there and I'm going to start mixing it up, and then I'll add the instant yeast last. So I did everything. Got 1/4 of that, 3/4 cups, 170 grams of dill pickle juice, 1½ teaspoon table salt, granulated sugar. Okay, I got everything. Okay, so to the mixer we go. And I just got finished making butter, and I didn't wash out my bowl because, heck, I got enough I got plenty of sour stuff in there, so I don't think that butter taste is going to make any difference. Alright, so let's get the pickle juice in there. The oil. We give this kind of a quick mix. Help the mixer out just a little bit, as if it needs helping. Come on now, this is Mr. Bosch. He don't need any help. God, that smells good already. Oh. Okay. Let's pour it in there. Pour it in the bowl. We almost got it all in there. A little bit left, but that's okay. And we mix. A little bit of the water in, not all of it. Okay, now I'm glad I didn't pour all that water in there because see, I still got this much left. But the dough looks really good. I don't think I'm going to need any more than that. And it's cooler today. You know, if you live in a cool weather area, you should add the lesser amount of water. If you live in a dry place like I do, like the desert, and where we get triple digits today, it's only 70 something degrees, which I am so thankful and grateful for. But I didn't use all the water, which, okay. So I'm going to let that sit and do its thing for 20 minutes. Make sure that okay, so according to my instructions, combine all the dough ingredients and mix until clumps form. The dough may seem dry at this point. Let it rest for 20 minutes, then this will allow the fresh milled flour time to hydrate. And this is the autolyse process. I put that on there. And then I'm going to add the yeast after the 20 minutes time. So we're at this point here. Okay, so I'm good. Okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, my timer just went off, and while I was sitting in there, I wrote a nicer copy of the recipe so I could read it. Now that we have passed the 20-minute mark, let me look at this. Okay, that feels different, but that's okay. And from here I'm going to add the 2½ teaspoons of the instant yeast. And this is where I'm probably going to have to add in more water. Okay, so that's 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and I need a ½ teaspoon. Here's my ½ teaspoon. Okie dokie. Now let's mix this up and see what we got. Yeah, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more water. The recipe calls for 7 minutes mixing time, and like I said, this recipe was geared toward commercial flour. I'm using fresh mill flour, so I'm going to mix mine for 9 minutes. I'm going to add the lid and continue the mixing process. The 9 minutes mixing time is up. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on my hands. This dough feels really sticky. I got some good gluten development. Yep. So let me put a little bit of oil on my work table here. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, it smells. Oh. Yep, this is rye bread, all right. It smells so good. Let me see here. Got some nice stretch. And I think, yep, got window pane going on here. You can't see it from there, but I can see it. Oh yeah. It's a lot stickier than I thought it would be. But that's okay, as long as it stretches, right? Yep, we're good. We got some great gluten development going on here. Okay, so now from here it's going to go back into my bowl. I'm going to grease it a little bit and let it sit for 1 to 2 hours. I don't think I can wait 2 hours. I can wait 1 hour, but not 2. Because I'm hungry and I'm ready for my Reuben sandwich. Put a little oil in here. That dough feels good. I'm going to cover up my bowl and let it rest for 1 hour. And here we are after 1 hour. And as you can see, it kind of doubled in size. So let's move on. Okay, it's 902 grams. So I don't know how big of a loaf that's going to make. It doesn't look like it's that much, but it is. Huh. Now I know. Never had that happen before. That's going to give it a little character. Wow. Oh my God, it smells so good. Okay, it's going into a 350-degree oven for about 35-40 minutes. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, my rye bread is in the oven, and this is the first time I've ever made rye bread, so I'm real curious to see how it's going to turn out. Now, I've never had a loaf of bread crack on the top of the loaf like that one did. I don't know if I let it rise for too long. I let it rise for an hour. It said, the directions said hour to hour and a half. I let it rise for about an hour and 20 minutes. And it looked good after an hour, but it didn't quite rise enough for me, so I let it go for another 20 minutes. And so it smells good. It smells really, really, really good. I mean, just like that stuff that you buy at a deli. I mean, it's even better because I made it myself. So stick around. I couldn't wait. It's almost 9 o'clock and I didn't want to wait this late to eat, so I ate something else tonight. But tomorrow we will have a Reuben sandwich tomorrow with our homemade rye bread. And I have been making a ton of pickles, which is why I have this pickle juice. A whole gallon of it, you know. And my thought is, I'm making pickles, why not put pickle brine on the cucumbers instead of vinegar? So, and my pickles have been tasting really, really, really good. This is good stuff. It really is. I'll put the link for it in my description boxes. Okay, so I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow for lunch. How about that? Okay? Okay, she's out of the oven. Looks a little strange, but sure smells good. Take the temperature, see what my temperature is. $191, so we're good. That's from the center. It's even hotter on the ends. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so it says take it out and let it rest on the wire rack. Okay. Looks a little weird, but that's okay as long as it tastes good. I don't care what it looks like. Alright, I'll put some butter on it. This reminds me of when I was learning how to make sourdough bread during the pandemic. That was fun. That was a challenge. All kinds of crazy challenges I ran into, but I finally mastered it and figured out how to make sourdough bread. Have made it since. That's just too time consuming. And making bread is time consuming anyway, you know? It's a project. It's a labor of love.
Check the pressure cooker. Check the pressure cooker. Check the...
It is a labor of love. What you think, Sophie? It looks funny, huh? Well, we don't care what it looks like as long as it tastes good, right? Okay, this is going to be hard to not cut into this bad boy. Right now, I'm going to do like I said, don't cut it till it's completely cool. that looks good. I found another rye bread recipe when I was back there looking up, doing my research as to why it cracked on the top, and it gave me several different reasons why it did. So I'm going to make another loaf tomorrow because my nephew and his daughter's coming over for lunch. And I know this one's not, they're coming over Monday, and I know this is not going to last till Monday. I guarantee it's not going to last till Monday. So I'll make another one for my nephew. He was here a couple of days ago and left me 40 pounds of potatoes to process for him. He wants some hash browns, he wants some instant potatoes, and I'm probably gonna make it 3 different ways. That's a lot of potatoes. Maybe I bake some. Okay. That's not bad. Not bad for my first try. And I think that crack on the top gave it an awful lot of character. What do you think, Sophie? Sophie's like, I don't care, just give me a piece. Alright, I let my bread sit until it cooled completely off, just as the instructions said. Don't cut it until it cools all the way down. And here is what it looks like inside. It is soft and tender, and that first bite was everything. It is super delicious. Man, there's so many flavors going on here. And look at how soft that bread is in the middle. Look at that. And it is over the top in flavor. It really is. I will be making this. I will be making rye bread all the time from now on. I will never buy it again at the store. Now look at the crumb. Look at that. Look at that. Let me try it with some butter on it. Oh my goodness. It's even good with just butter on it. I can only imagine how good it's going to taste with my Reuben sandwich. Okay, I'm going to have this one little piece here, and I'm not going to have any more. I'm going to wrap it up, put it in the fridge overnight, and leave it alone until tomorrow. And this little piece here, that's for Sophie. She's waiting very patiently. Alright, this is the next day, and I did put my bread in the refrigerator overnight, and it's nice and firm on the outside, and it's still soft on the inside. And yeah, I got into it and it was so good. And I was pleasantly surprised at how flavorful this bread is. I mean, I was a little hesitant about that pickle juice because I've never made bread with pickle juice, but it gave it a nice, unique flavor. The caraway seed gave it a wonderful flavor, and I think next time I make this bread, I'm going to add a little extra caraway seed in it because I love that flavor. So let me show you the 40 pounds of potatoes my nephew brought over and how I processed them. And here's part of the potatoes that I worked up this morning. The rest of them are on my dining room table. I have potatoes everywhere. I'm going to be up to my eyeballs in potatoes. These right here I parboiled this morning because I'm going to make those I'm going to shred them up and make them into hash browns. And the ones in the pot there, I'm going to boil those and make those dehydrated mashed potatoes. But here's the hash browns. And he has 24 individually wrapped packages of hash browns and a couple of packs of these unseasoned tater tots. And here's the dehydrated mashed potatoes. And I forgot to mention the eggs that he brought me. And here's the dehydrated eggs. All right, back to the business of cutting up my bread because I'm ready for that Reuben sandwich and I'm starving. And I was worried about that hole in the center here. And you know what? It didn't do anything to change the inside of the bread, the crumb part. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I There was a reason why I guess they added the potato flakes to make it lighter, because this is a very dense bread, as you can see by the, how it's cutting. And I don't care, I don't mind it being dense, because to me it's just filling and it's such a good flavorful bread. Like I said, the only thing that I'm going to change differently next time I make it is add a little bit more caraway seed, because I do love that flavor. So let me hurry up and get this done so I can get my Reuben sandwich started. Finally, the moment I've been waiting for is to eat this sandwich. And it smelled so good when I was cooking it. I was literally, my mouth was watering. I couldn't wait for this moment. But anyway, tonight I'm having some lemon water with my dinner. And it's so refreshing. I've been drinking lemon water all day long. Boy, talking about making you feel good. Oh, yeah. What a day. What a day. And always give thanks to God for your blessings. Come, Lord Jesus, be my guest. Let this gift to me be blessed, and by your hands I am fed. I thank you, Lord, for my daily bread. Amen. Now, I'm going to cut this bad boy in half, and the only thing that's left to do is the smacking. So, please forgive me. That's why I muted the sound, because I was smacking like all kinds of crazy. But anyway, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and spending some of your time with me today. Well, actually, a lot of your time with me today. Now, for your convenience, I'm going to put this video in chapters simply because it is so long. And, you know, if you don't have time to sit down and watch the whole thing all at once, just watch the chapters that you want to watch, but then go back and you know, check out the rest of them. And please promise me that you're going to watch the whole video, because, you know, that's how YouTube controls the algorithms, by how people watch the videos and the watch time and what have you. And that means a lot to us content creators that are, you know, just trying to make ends meet, especially, you know, us seniors. Boy, I tell you, we're having a time with it. But that's okay, because we're going to get through this. We are going to get through this. And back to my new people. If you're new, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would truly appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. That way, be notified each and every time I upload a brand new video. Oh boy, I tell you, what a day. What a day. But it was so worth it. And seniors, I'm going to get back to you again. This is when we need to stay super busy. And you saw all the stuff that I had to do. I've been busy the last couple of days, and I love it because I don't have time to think about all that negative stuff. And you know what? I'm doing something that's going to be helpful to my nephew, and he appreciates me and I appreciate him. So thanks for stopping by. Be blessed. Keep on cooking. Keep God first. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll see you when I see you.